Welcome to Motivemustery, where the wisdom of the ages meets the challenges of today. In this video, we delve into the life and philosophy of Ludwig Josef Johann Wittgenstein, a revolutionary thinker in the realm of logic, language, and the nature of philosophical problems. Wittgenstein, born in 1889 in Vienna, is often regarded as one of the most significant philosophers of the 20th century. His works, primarily Tractatus Logico-philosophicus and Philosophical Investigations, challenged conventional thinking in philosophy, introducing groundbreaking concepts in logic and the philosophy of language. His approach was characterized by a focus on the practical use of language and an exploration of how our language shapes our understanding of the world. Wittgenstein's ideas have profoundly influenced not just philosophy, but also the fields of mathematics, psychology, and the arts. Join us as we explore Wittgenstein's impactful journey, from his early work, which proposed that the structure of language mirrors the structure of reality, to his later work, which shifted to how language gains shape our perception of the world. Discover 30 of his most profound quotes and their lasting impact on modern thought. A serious and good philosophical work could be written consisting entirely of jokes. Ludwig Wittgenstein, known for his revolutionary ideas in philosophy, often explored the unconventional use of language in conveying deep thoughts. This quote illustrates Wittgenstein's belief that philosophical truths can be expressed in non-traditional forms, challenging the conventional solemnity of philosophy. In today's diverse and dynamic world, this quote encourages thinking outside the box, showing that deep insights can come in various forms, including humor. The limits of my language means the limits of my world. Wittgenstein highlighted the integral relationship between language and our understanding of reality. This quote implies that our perception of the world is confined by the language we use. It emphasizes the importance of language in shaping our experiences and knowledge. I don't know why we are here, but I'm pretty sure that it is not in order to enjoy ourselves. Wittgenstein often pondered the meaning and purpose of life. This quote reflects his skeptical stance on the conventional pursuit of pleasure. It challenges us to think beyond superficial enjoyments to find deeper purpose. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. This quote is central to Wittgenstein's philosophy on the limits of language. It suggests that language cannot capture everything, especially the ineffable. The quote encourages respect for the unspeakable mysteries of life. Hell isn't other people. Hell is yourself. This quote diverges from traditional existential views, focusing on self-reflection. It implies that one's own mind can be a source of turmoil and suffering. This perspective encourages introspection and personal responsibility. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. Wittgenstein's quote reflects his philosophical inquiry into the meaning and implications of life and death. It challenges the traditional views on life after death, questioning the actual significance of such a concept. In our contemporary world, it urges us to focus more on the present life's problems and their solutions. Nothing is so difficult as not deceiving oneself. This quote highlights Wittgenstein's emphasis on the challenge of self-honesty. It suggests that self-deception is a common human tendency and a significant obstacle to understanding truth. The quote is relevant today as it calls for introspection and integrity in our thoughts and actions. I am my world. Wittgenstein's statement reflects his belief in the personal nature of reality and experience. It underscores the idea that each individual's perception shapes their own unique world. This concept remains relevant as it encourages personal responsibility for one's view and understanding of the world. If people never did silly things, nothing intelligent would ever get done. This Wittgenstein quote appreciates the role of creativity and risk-taking in intellectual progress. It suggests that unconventional actions often lead to meaningful discoveries and advancements. Today, it serves as a reminder that thinking outside the norm can lead to significant innovations and solutions. Only describe, don't explain. This quote captures Wittgenstein's philosophy, emphasizing the description over explanation in understanding language and reality. It suggests that clarity in thought comes from observation rather than overanalyzing. Relevant today, it encourages a straightforward approach to communication and understanding. A man will be imprisoned in a room with a door that's unlocked and opens inwards, as long as it does not occur to him to pull rather than push. Wittgenstein uses this analogy to illustrate the limitations of our thinking and perception. It highlights how often our assumptions trap us in metaphorical rooms. The quote is a reminder to challenge our habitual ways of thinking to find solutions. Death is not an event in life. We do not live to experience death. If we take eternity to mean not infinite temporal duration but timelessness, then eternal life belongs to those who live in the present. Our life has no end in the way in which our visual field has no limits. This quote delves into Wittgenstein's philosophical views on life and death. It proposes that understanding life and death requires a perspective beyond conventional time. It's particularly relevant in encouraging us to live in the moment and appreciate the continuity of life. If we take eternity to mean not infinite temporal duration but timelessness, then eternal life belongs to those who live in the present. This is a repetition of the earlier part of Wittgenstein's longer quote on life and death. It emphasizes the concept of living in the present as a form of eternal existence. This idea is significant in contemporary thought, promoting mindfulness and presence in life. The problems are solved, not by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known since long. Wittgenstein believed that clarity in understanding comes from organizing existing knowledge. This quote emphasizes the importance of seeing old information in new ways. It encourages creative thinking and reevaluation of what we already know. Don't, for heaven's sake, be afraid of talking nonsense. But you must pay attention to your nonsense. Wittgenstein highlighted the value of expressing even nonsensical ideas. This quote suggests that there can be meaning in what seems like nonsense. It encourages open-mindedness and reflection on our thoughts. We are asleep. Our life is a dream. But we wake up sometimes, just enough to know that we are dreaming. This quote delves into Wittgenstein's thoughts on reality and perception. It suggests that our perception of life may not fully capture its true essence. The quote inspires introspection and questioning the nature of our experiences. I am sitting with a philosopher in the garden, he says again and again. I know that that's a tree pointing to a tree that is near us. Someone else arrives and hears this, and I tell him, this fellow isn't insane. We are only doing philosophy. Wittgenstein uses this scenario to illustrate the nature of philosophical inquiry. It shows how philosophy often questions what seems obvious, exploring deeper meanings. This encourages reflection on the apparent simplicity of our understanding. Not how the world is, but that it is the mystery. Wittgenstein's quote addresses the fundamental mystery of existence. It suggests that the mere fact of existence is more mysterious than the specifics of the world. The quote invites us to ponder the wonder and inexplicability of being. Philosophy is a battle against the bewitchment of our intelligence by means of language. This reflects Wittgenstein's view on the potential of language to confuse and mislead. It underscores the challenge of using language accurately to convey thought. Wittgenstein urges the careful examination of language in philosophical discussion. How small a thought it takes to fill a life. This quote reflects on the impact of a single, significant thought on a person's life. It suggests that even a small idea can have profound implications for our existence. The quote highlights the power and significance of our thoughts. Never stay up on the barren heights of cleverness, but come down into the green valleys of silliness. Wittgenstein expresses the value of embracing simplicity over intellectual complexity. This quote suggests that there's wisdom in acknowledging and appreciating the simpler aspects of life. It encourages a balance between intellectual pursuits and the joy of simple pleasures. When we can't think for ourselves, we can always quote. Wittgenstein touches on the tendency to rely on others' thoughts instead of forming our own. This quote highlights the ease of quoting others as opposed to original thinking. It serves as a reminder of the importance of independent thought and critical thinking. If you and I are to live religious lives, it mustn't be that we talk a lot about religion, but that our manner of life is different. It is my belief that only if you try to be helpful to other people will you in the end find your way to God. Wittgenstein discusses the essence of living a religious life. He suggests that true religiosity is reflected more in actions than in words. This quote underlines the importance of altruism and living according to one's beliefs. We feel that even if all possible scientific questions be answered, the problems of life have still not been touched at all. Wittgenstein addresses the limitations of science in solving existential and philosophical problems. This quote suggests that science doesn't necessarily provide answers to life's deeper questions. It emphasizes the need for philosophical inquiry beyond scientific understanding. To imagine a language is to imagine a form of life. Wittgenstein links language closely with the way we experience and understand life. This quote reflects his view that language shapes our reality and life experiences. It highlights the role of language in constructing our worldview. I act with complete certainty, but this certainty is my own. Wittgenstein speaks to the subjective nature of certainty and belief. This quote underlines that our convictions are often personal and not universally shared. It encourages acknowledgement of the personal basis of our actions and beliefs. Ethics and aesthetics are one. Wittgenstein's quote reflects his belief in the interconnectedness of ethics and aesthetics. This statement suggests that moral and aesthetic values are deeply intertwined. It underlines the unity of how we perceive beauty and make ethical judgments. At the core of all well-founded belief lies belief that is unfounded. Wittgenstein explores the paradoxical nature of belief systems. This quote implies that even the most rational beliefs have elements of faith without empirical evidence. It highlights the foundational uncertainty in all human knowledge. If anyone is unwilling to descend into himself, because this is too painful, he will remain superficial in his writing. If I perform to myself, then it's this that the style expresses. And then the style cannot be my own. If you are unwilling to know what you are, your writing is a form of deceit. Wittgenstein emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and authenticity in expression. This quote suggests that deep personal reflection is necessary for genuine and meaningful writing. It criticizes the tendency to avoid self-exploration in creative work. What can be shown cannot be said. Wittgenstein's quote reflects on the limitations of language in capturing the essence of certain experiences. It implies that some truths or realities can only be understood through experience, not description. The quote underlines the distinction between showing and telling and conveying understanding. Appreciation for joining our journey.